good afternoon on this most beautiful summer day when I'm going to go from one extreme to the other and plunge into a question from a lady called Ilana, who asks me about unbearable moments. What do I know about them? Well, Ilana, I know a lot about unbearable moments. Have I spoken about them? A bit, but I've done a lot more writing about them. And if you go on my website and look at my books, of which there are 6 at the moment and another 3 in the pipeline, you will see very much is written about unbearable moments. And just to single out one, as by your name you seem to have a Russian connection, as I do, there's a big 2-volume book called Mystic Forbearance, which is all about bearing the unbearable, which is very much a feature of Russia and Russian history. So if you're interested, I would be glad to think you might read it. The unbearable moment. Do you know, if I just look up on the hillside opposite, there's a herd of cattle. You can't see it on this video, but they're there on the hillside. And a few minutes ago I was watching them, what we say, gadding. Now this time of year there's a horsefly, what we call a fly, that bites very viciously and sucks the blood. And it drives cattle crazy, because it always goes to those sensitive, unprotected parts, of course, where the poor beast can't do much about it. And if you see a herd of cattle put up their heads and start jumping about like crazy and all galloping off to a far corner of a field, that's probably what it's all about. These gadflies are making their life unbearable. Why can't the poor things just rest in the shade and chew their cuds in peace on a lovely summer day? Well, why not indeed? You know, most lovely scenes like this, if you look carefully at it, you'll see that parasites are eating away at the beautiful things around us. I have to be careful myself, because if you see me suddenly jump up and slap my arms, it'll mean one of these flies is sucking my blood. And even I can't keep still when that happens. I have to slap my arm. Unbearable moments. Yes, my dear, well, lucky anybody that goes through their life without them. I don't think that's the human lot. How do we deal with it? Well, if it's a fly sucking your blood, you can try and do that. If it's something more internal in your mind, well, it's not so easy, is it? By what means can we deal with them? Suffer. What can we do about these unbearable moments? Well, the rather insensitive answer that you often get in England is cheer up, which I never found very helpful at all. In fact, it just made me feel worse. Oh, I do dislike that phrase. Well, what else can we do? You could try going out in the sunshine, if there is any. And if you can't do that, well, another old phrase is grin and bear it. What can we do? There are countless recipes, but whether any of them work or not, I suspect. I don't know, dear, what you can do. We just got to wait. Wait until the weather changes. Sometimes life is awful, really dreadful, unbearable. Somehow we struggle on. Yes, that's the point, you see, that although the flesh may suffer, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words they cannot hurt me. If we can just observe the suffering of the flesh and the suffering of the mind, create that little bit of space between you, the observer, and the poor suffering me, which is what it's all about. I am suffering. It's always the ego, isn't it, that suffers. Then, you see, there's that bit of space between it. Now look here. I'm standing here in a lovely country setting, with all around me, all these insects are killing and eating each other, and all this, just beneath the surface of this beauty, the whole, life is recycling and being chewed up. And around the world, around about, there are all the events of the world. And yet, there is this stillness, isn't there? There is this all-embracing peace, which is in another dimension altogether. And see, like Jesus rising to glory, this is what we must do also. We must bear our cross in this life, suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, and, why, one way or another, learn to rise above it and find our glory. Ultimately, that's the only way I know. And so through all this trauma and unbearability, this is the mystic way of being humbled, into humble acceptance of your cross, and follow Jesus to his glory. Here and now. Bye-bye.